What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we have got another pretty incredible unboxing here. We've got one book that I actually already opened up that is a new keeper book for me, so I'll show that one. I've got two raw books that we're going to go over, and then I have three books that just came back from CGC. I have checked the grades on these. There is some disappointment and frustration in this box, so we'll get into that when I get to these books. Stay tuned. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So again, want to say thank you to everybody that likes and subscribes, comments, everything on the channel. Really appreciate it, really helps the channel. And if you enjoy unboxing videos like this, there is something that's called the Comic Book Community Awards that is going on right now. There's voting for it, and I was picked as one of the finalists for the unboxing category. So if you want to vote for me, I would really appreciate it. If you watch this channel and you enjoy these videos, I'll put the link to that in the description of the video. But now let's get on to these books. So what am I going to start with? I'll start with this. So this is the CGC unboxing. This is the one that has some frustration in it for me. One of them because of something that I think I don't really agree with how it was graded. It's not the actual grade of it, it's how something they assign to the book. And it's making me wonder what I should do with it. We'll see, because these are all for sale, but it's something that makes it a little bit harder to sell the book. The other one is frustrating because there's a raw book that I purchased from Heritage, and I did, and it feels like every time I do this, every time I rush and I just go, oh, okay, I trust, that who that's coming from, so I don't have to worry about checking for restoration. I get caught by it, and so it's real frustrating with that because it's something that would have been easy to catch, and because I've had it happen a few times. I've had a few books come from Heritage that did not identify restoration, restoration they missed and had it, and I need to take the time to check those. And part of the reason I was a little cautious with this one, I know, was because the spine was fragile, and so I didn't want to handle it very much, and so I took that risk and got punished for it. So I may end up sending that one back in, because I think I can actually remove the restoration on that one, depending on how big it is. But it would have been something that just quick black light check, I think, would have caught it. But yeah, so let's get into these. First one here. This is a book that I actually picked up for my building a comic business, starting with just $300. I bought this one from the Fantast live sales that were done by Rage Theo and One True Nerd King. And so I picked up this book. These are three books I decided not to get pressed and cleaned first. I just sent them straight in, but just because of the conditions of the books. And I had this one as a 3 to a 3.5, and it came back a 3.5. And so this is Spooky number 1. One of the cool things about this one, though, at least, is it is white pages. It's from November of 1955, so technically still the golden age, but it's right on that edge. It does actually have the Comics Code Authority. But this was a really nice, sharp copy. I mean, the main things going on with it is this chipping along the side here, and then there was a pretty big tape pull on the back. But overall, if you've seen this book before, I mean, this is really it's definitely like a kid's book for younger kids. And so you end up having a lot of wear on these, and actually a very clean copy in terms of colors and brightness and all of that. So yeah, it has a little bit of spine wear, and it has that chipping. I mean, that's why I had it as a 3 to a 3.5, and it got, the upper end of that. There's, like I said, there's that tape pull that's on the back. Got that 3.5. But the white pages is a nice little bonus with that, because Golden Age or late Golden Age, early Silver Age white pages always adds a little bit in terms of value to the book. So yeah, so that was the first one. That was the one that actually, of the three, that was, I guess, good, like what I was expecting. The other two, this one, I disagree with how CGC graded this book. So what this is that all new comics number 8 that I showed. So I showed this one when I picked it up, And so it's all new comics number 8. And the issue here is they gave it a purple label, but it's just apparent. It's not like when you just have trimming, you just get apparent, and they don't give you like a C1, C2, that kind of thing. Now, I disagree with this being considered apparent, because to me, trimming is supposed to be when the intention is to deceive, to improve the performance, or to improve the appearance of the book. And that is, and so you can see it's all 3 edges of back cover trimmed. This is the back cover. I mean, it's like missing huge pieces. This was not an intention to deceive with that. And so to like now what I'm trying to think, like, what should I do with this? Should I send this back in and just remove the back cover? So now it's incomplete. It's still going to get a 0.5, but then it's a 0.5 blue label. So what I'm probably going to, and then I wouldn't throw out the back cover. I would probably just keep it, put it in a bag, and then send it to whoever bought the book. Because this is going to be one that I'm going to be selling, send it to whoever bought the book, and they can choose what they want to do with it. They know they have the complete copy. But I know how much that purple label can hurt things. Just the immediate appearance of it makes it so that it is a less desirable book. And so since it's a 0.5 already, which is what I expected a 0.5. I thought maybe there would be like some like 1% chance it gets like a 1.0, but I was pretty sure it's getting a 0.5. But this makes me go, okay, then, you know, what I should maybe consider doing is just crack this open, take out the back cover, send it back in, get the 0.5 blue label, and then I just sell it with that back cover as a separate, you know, piece that comes with the book. And so I'm gonna list it like this for a little while, and if it doesn't sell, then that's what I'll do. And it's something that I just disagree with them identifying that as trimmed and giving it restoration, because I have just always been under the impression that trimming is meant to be that it's trying to improve the appearance of the book. It's trying to effectively deceive the person about what the grade of the book is. And that is, I mean, look at this. That is not what this is. It's much smaller than the rest of the book. It is not intended to deceive that this is a better copy than it was. So, I don't know. That one's just frustrating to me, because I do not agree that should be identified as trimmed. That's like if somebody had a remainder copy and they cut off the top third, that you would call that trimmed. You won't call that trimmed. You know, that's not what that is. So I disagree with how that was graded. But, you know, I don't want to immediately send it back in for grading, because then I have to spend more money and shipping and time. And so, well, you know, I'll probably list it for a little while, and if there's no interest in it, then that's what I'll end up doing. All right, now this last one. This one, I am frustrated because I'm sure I could have caught it, but I bought this one from Heritage. I usually am I trust them generally to catch this kind of stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. And so I didn't check it, and I should have checked it. And I've got my blacklight right here, and I'm just gonna see if I can see it on the cover. I mean, it's not obvious from the front. Usually it lights up a little bit more. It's a little tougher through the case. I don't know if that would have jumped out. I might have only noticed it really clearly on the back, but I can see what it is. You know, I know what's going on. So this one is Tales from the Crypt, number 20. It's actually issue number 1. This is a really solid presenting copy. I think I had this one at a 2 to a 2.5. And so I got the 2.0 restored, and light tanned off-white pages. The main thing was on this book is that I was nervous about handling it too much. I felt like it could maybe have done a little better with the press, but the spine was pretty fragile, and so I was worried if I had it pressed that there was a pretty good risk that it could split the spine more or detach the cover, because I don't think the cover's actually detached. But you can see the restoration on it is small amount of glue on spine of cover, piece reattached to cover, which is this tiny little piece up here. And so basically what I would do is I would crack it out. You would effectively cut off that little piece and then, you know, send it back in. And that's, you know, I don't think there's anything else that would really be it. I think that's, from what I saw, because I checked the grader's notes, I'm pretty sure that's all. Yeah, I don't see any other, nothing else really seems to light up. But I would definitely take a closer look if I crack this out and decide to send it back in. But this one I would guess would still get the 2.0. And so the question is, I might try to list it again like the other one, see if it sells, because someone else will see that and they'll know that they can probably remove that as well. And so see if it sells. If it does, then fine. If it doesn't, then I will crack it out. And I will remove that little piece that's right there so that, you know, you don't have the glue that has something reattached. And yeah, that one's, I mean, that one's frustrating just because, you know, one, I could have caught it. Two, I generally trust Heritage to check that kind of stuff, and they missed that one. And I know you can usually reach out to them. I might, but I don't really want to return the book. I still, want the book. I'm just annoyed that I might have to spend the money again to get it graded, which is always frustrating. So those are the 3 books. One went well. One, I disagree with the CGC on that one, and the other one is just frustration on the side of, should have checked it and didn't, just because I've said this on the channel a number of times. You can't trust anybody. Like, you have to check everything, and I need to follow that rule for myself with every single book. The fragility of the spine is really what made me, I think held me back on doing it, and I should have done it. All right, next book. This is one of the new keeper books for me. I actually talked about this book recently, and it's interesting because it's a book that I talked about it in that there are certain characteristics I don't like about the book. And it's not that I don't like the book, it's that I feel like it doesn't have everything that I'm usually looking for in this type of book. But it is still a great book, is a great presenting copy, which is the big selling point for me. So this is Terrific Comics number 5. It's a 2.0. Cover is reattached with tape on cover, interior cover, and interior. You can see for a 2.0, this is a great presenting copy. This is the type of thing that you really want to look for with those low grade copies. It's a detached cover because the cover is reattached with tape, and you can see no big pieces out of the front. There's no big pieces out of the back. There's a tear down on the back, that kind of thing. And you can see some of the tape there on the back, but front looks really, really good. There are a bunch of scuffs and scratches on this case. I'm not someone who really worries too much about that, but if I'm going to be sending something in already, if I decide to send one or both of those other books in, I would probably send this one in just at the same time, since right now it's on my keeper list, and I would just have it recased. Now, this is considered one of the top Alex Schomburg covers. You can see Alex Schomburg cover, L.B. Cole is on the interior art. And so it's one of these, good girl art, bondage type covers. And the thing I talked about in that prior video was that this cover has a lot of the elements, that you're looking for in one of these Alex Schomburg covers from this era. But the one big thing to me that it's missing is it doesn't have that World War II element. And so you've got, like the hooded guy back here, but there's nothing that's identifying them as like a Nazi or, anything like that. And so you're missing that World War II element, but you do have, the woman in the red dress, the guy jumping in to save them, the crazy like knife spinning contraption, torture contraption. You've got this like demon guy in the back here. I remember Keston did a video and he talked about this book, and you've got this, like this guy in the back here that's coming in to fight with a wrench. He's like, he's coming into this fight against these guys that have like machine guns, and he's going to try to take him down with a wrench. So maybe, he might be in a little bit of trouble in this one, but yeah, it is a great cover. I totally agree that it is a great cover, but I still feel like it's missing that one element. But great presenting 2.0, off-white pages. Like I said, has some scuffs and that kind of stuff, so I may decide to have this one recased. I don't think, it doesn't look like it's been pressed. Maybe it had been, but it's got like some indentations. I don't know if they'll come out on camera or not, but there you go. So you can see like the indentations kind of here. But given that it's a detached cover, there's a lot of splitting and some tape repairs and that kind of thing. Maybe it could get a 2.5. Maybe it could get a 2.5. I don't know if it's worth it to risk it. I don't think it would get lower than a 2. I think it's pretty solid in the grade that it's at. I think it could, like I said, maybe get a 2.5, but it's just such a nice presenting complete copy that I couldn't see it getting anything lower than that. But yeah, so Alex Schomburg, one of the big books for him from this era. This is a very pricey book in any grade, And so I thought that was a cool one to end up picking up. So that one is for the time being at least, going on my keeper list. All right, so the last box here. So you better believe I'm gonna be checking these. So this is 2 Raws that I picked up from Heritage. And yeah, I am gonna be running the blacklight over them because I don't want to have an unpleasant surprise again on these, because I don't know if I'm gonna I might get these graded. I haven't decided yet, but if I'm selling them raw, you know, you always want to make sure that that you check that kind of stuff so that you don't have somebody that gets an unpleasant surprise when they get the book if they decide to get it graded. So I'm gonna, there's a bunch of tape on these, so I'm gonna cut into these and then we'll talk about these books.
A few moments later.
All right, so we are back. We've got these 2 books that I picked up recently. I actually picked these ones up from Heritage from their recent Matt Baker auction. Now, that Matt Baker auction had some crazy sales in it. I mean, just massive numbers being hit all over the place. But I did think that there were a couple deals here and there throughout, and I picked up 2 books that I felt were a really good price. First one here, this is one of the, I'd say one of the crazier covers that Matt Baker did. And this is Teenage Temptations number 8. So you can see kind of what the story there. So a pretty dark cover with this one. And this they had as a 2.0, and I'd say it looks about like a 2.0. I think it's actually attached. Let's see here. I don't remember if it was attached or detached. Let's see if... It looks like it is still attached. It's missing a little piece out of the back down here, and it just has like a lot of general wear to the cover. You know, it's not a bad presenting copy or anything like that. It just has that general wear, like it was in a stack of stuff that was moving around a lot. I don't know how much it would really improve from a press. Like the stuff on the back, there's some things that could maybe be improved from it. Maybe hard to see them. You can see kind of some of that wrinkling or dimpling. There was definitely some water damage to this one at some point. I'll do a page count out of it. Pages are actually really nice. Say these might get like off-white to white. I mean, those pages are, that's really nice pages on this book. So page quality is really nice. It's one of his, you know, more kind of like crazy, I'd say kind of violent-ish type covers that he did. And so definitely one that I thought was pretty cool to be able to pick up. Yeah, I mean, there's like a little bit of splitting. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's detached on the front cover at the top staple, but attached on the back cover. And it looks like similar to on the bottom staple, detached on the front cover. And I think they might have said that in the notes, but it is still attached on the back cover. So, but one that I'll think about. I might get this one graded, or I might end up selling it raw. I don't know yet. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, that one I thought was pretty interesting to be able to pick up. I have not owned a copy of this book before, and I think a 2.0 seems pretty reasonable. Let's run the black light over it to see if anything jumps out. So there's like one little thing that's lighting up, but I don't think that it's actually like glue. I don't know. I don't know if that's the water line that's lighting up. Maybe that's just the water line. Just don't want to get burned again. I think it's just the water line. Let's check interior. Yeah, that to me it looks like it's just the staining that's lighting that up a little bit. So overall, I think this one's fine. So yeah, that one looks good. I'm gonna have to do the page count after the fact, but I checked the centerfold. Centerfold is attached. It's just that the cover is detached at the front cover. So if you're not familiar with what that means, it means that the paper is still under the staples for the back cover, so it is still attached. It's just on the front cover, it has split at that staple. All right, now the other one. This is Atomic Comics number 4. And I always think this one is pretty cool because you've got the, the woman in the red dress, kind of like good girl art type cover, but then you also have whatever this crazy machinery is that's on the top there. So you have this kind of like futuristic machinery on the cover. You have the, woman in the red dress on the cover, that kind of stuff. This one they had graded as a 5.0, and it looks pretty nice. It has kind of like a big spine roll to it. Again, I'm going to run the black light just to see if anything jumps out. And I always like to do it on the interior of the cover, especially because that's where you'll really see things if like glue has been used or that kind of thing. And I don't think anything looks like it's popping out there. And you can see what I mean by the spine roll. Is like on the back here, you can see how those pages are flared out. So it might be one that's worthwhile to get that looked at. Let's see about this corner on the top here. Yeah, I think everything looks good there. Yeah, so the only thing, that the main flaw on this book, I mean, other than that spine roll, the main flaw was this tear that's on the top here. And I was a little worried that maybe it was brittle. I thought maybe it was going to be brittle there because it looked like it went through the pages too. But the pages are again, they're really nice. I wouldn't say, I'd say these are probably more like off-white. So here's the pages. I think these look a little more like off-white, but they're still, really like supple pages. You can flip through them. If you want to look at the, let's see if I can find kind of some of the story here. So just some of the interior. So, but yeah, overall, page quality looks real nice on this one. And the major flaw really is, there's some roughness and that kind of thing to the spine, just some general wear to the spine. But I thought that this one looked really nice and might even grade higher than the 5.0 that they estimated. So I'm definitely considering sending this one in for grading. I will probably want to get the, this spine roll fixed, because it's just kind of, it's not even quite like, it's a little like twist to it. And so you've got this like little twist to it. And I think that will help improve the appearance of the front cover as well, because they'll probably get rid of a little bit of this white on the edge. But overall, a, pretty nice copy. I mean, you can see no real big creases or anything, no major flaws, other than that tear on the top there. So I'll take a look again at the centerfold. Centerfold looks attached, that looks good, but I'll do the page counts and all of that afterwards. And I was thinking, I mean, maybe a 6. I think might be able to get a 6 on this one, especially after things are cleaned up. There are a few little creases on the back. I think a 5, they had it as a 5 because there's a couple of creases here. Like I said, they had it as a 5. I think it's a slam dunk at a 5. I think 5.5, maybe a 6 after the press and after that stuff's cleaned up. So definitely one that I'm considering sending in for grading, but I will take a closer look at it after this video. So those are all the books that I picked up. Here are the 2 new raws that I picked up. And just remember, you always gotta check those books. Like, I have my own rules that I follow for this, and I didn't do it for that one, and it bit me because it was an easy thing that I could have just taken that piece off of that corner and send it in and gotten probably the same grade. And I've generally felt they seem to grade a little bit harder when they see restoration, so maybe it would have even gotten a 2.5 because I had that as a 2 to a 2.5, even with that piece missing. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna end up listing them, and if they end up selling, they sell. If they don't, then I will be probably sending them back in to get graded again. So hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe learn something about things to check, that kind of stuff when you're sending books in for grading. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. Remember to check the description of this video for the link to, if you want to vote for me for the CBCA or CBC awards for the unboxing videos. I'd really appreciate it. Got more videos over here. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.